What's it doing? As I just sit here. Huh. Well, apparently I'm talking to no one, because apparently I cannot be heard right now. Oh, apparently doing nothing fixed the problem. Or something. Or maybe just fixed itself, I don't know. Anyway. So, welcome back, guys. And look, something different. Sort of. So, as you know, I'm a huge Halo fan, and I plan on streaming all the games and making my little Let's Plays and whatnot, and posting the uncut streams to YouTube in all their unedited glory that is the mess that they are. But I don't know if I'll get around to playing both the Halo Wars games. Don't get me wrong, I love them. I love strategy games, I love Halo, it's perfect for me. And unlike most strategy games, they actually work pretty well on a console. Because I would know. I tried to play some of the Command and Conquer games back on 360, and the control schemes for those just didn't work out too well with a controller at all. But then again, Halo Wars was designed with a console in mind, so that probably helped it a lot. Anyway, I am Blue Team member, and welcome to video one of, maybe only one, of my Let's Play, Legendary, of course, run-through of Halo Wars 1. So, don't know if I'll keep doing this. It kind of depends on you guys. I need to know if I can make this entertaining. I've seen people play RTS games online, but I don't know if I'm cut out to make them entertaining. So, with that being said, welcome back everyone, and let's get started. Mission 1, Alpha Base, Legendary difficulty. And as usual with the Halo games, I'm not going to skip the cutscenes because this is supposed to be a complete playthrough. So I'm going to try and stay quiet during them and all that type of stuff. And I'll try not to talk over the in-game dialogue. You know, except for the unit dialogue, unless you guys want to hear that, because some of it is pretty interesting. Anyway, here goes nothing.
Captain's report, February 4th, 2531. 5 years. 5 long years. That's how long it took us to get Harvest back. Go, go, go! At first it was going well. Then setback after setback. Loss after loss. Made what was going to be a quick and decisive win into 5 years of hell. Of course, that's all Harvest is today. It's hell down there. But now it's ours again.
This game has one of my favorite Halo soundtracks ever. Epsilon Indie System, Harvest, February 4th, 2531. "20 years before the Halo event. The Halo timeline gets weird, but I will explain that once we get going here.
Serena, status.
Standard orbit achieved. All systems normal.
Prep for pod launches, bring weapon systems online.
Expecting trouble, Captain?
Harvest may be ours again, but I don't think the Covenant appreciate that yet. Sergeant Forge, report.
Definitely plenty of bad guys down here, Captain. And they found something in the ice.
Damn it. That complicates our mission. Anders, what have you got?
Captain, scans of the northern polar regions show some interesting Covenant activity on the surface. There's some kind of structure down there.
What do you think they're looking for?
That's what we're here to find out. We're to bring Alpha Base up to operational status and take control of that site.
I'll get my equipment ready, Captain.
Lady, there's no way you're coming down here on the first burn.
Sergeant Forge, pull back to Alpha Base. I'm sending you some backup.
Roger that. Forge out.
So, nothing too difficult then?
It might be the key to this whole war, Serena. It's worth the risk.
Captain, Alpha is toast. Nothing for me to pull back to. Suggest you hold that backup for now.
We need to turn that around, Sergeant. Serena, what's our status?
Sir, we've got a lot of troops retreating from Alpha Base. If Sergeant Forge can regroup them, our numbers may be sufficient to retake the base.
Roger that. We'll round up any and all survivors and get Alpha back.
Okay, here we go. So, here's hoping I can make an RTS game interesting.
We got friendlies up ahead. Let's hit them.
And just run him over. Bink.
Rolling out.
So, what I was saying about the Halo timeline being a little weird. There's a few different reasons for that.
You got it.
And it all involves slip space. Oh, he's almost dead already.
Ramming. You boys from Alpha? We were the first out, sir. Good to go. Moving out.
Right. Oh, there we go.
We're taking Alpha back.
Just get some health back. So, slip space is weird because it can literally punch a hole into the space between dimensions.
Where to?
And I've talked about this a little bit before, but how it affects the Halo timeline is how this can be 20 years before the Halo event, and yet we still have Red Team,
Rolling out.
and, you know, they know of the Chief, and all this type of stuff. Because,
Rolling.
go ahead and shoot the grunt, damn it.
Target. Rolling out.
It messes with time. And there's also the Forerunner shield worlds like Requiem from Halo 4.
I'll get them. Smash them.
And, man, I'm struggling to think of one. There's one from the books that's a huge Oni research station, but how a Forerunner shield world works is they literally can form themselves into a little pocket dimension where, as you'd guess, time there works different than time here.
Tango, one full. You need to get us out of here.
Enemy engagement.
Like, there's something from the books, and in the books,
I'll get them.
two groups of people were talking to each other, one from inside the sphere, one from, you know, outside the planet.
Follow me.
Local units. All
There you go.
units.
I'm going.
And the group on the outside had to wait 30 minutes for a response from the group on the inside, even though they were responding within 30 seconds. So that alone skews things a little bit. And if you've read the book Halo First Strike, which I like, but then again I'm biased to all this stuff,
Knock 'em down. Ugh, we got grunt bits all in the grill.
anyway,
Let's roll.
there's this little crystal thing involved, and it messes with,
Attacking.
you know, normally I'd say something about how I'm getting killed or something just buying time, but really I have no excuse in this for my lack of, oh, I really am getting killed, though. My lack of commentary. So, this crystal makes something that normally takes a few weeks, takes a few hours, while still taking a few weeks. It's kinda how the Chief is able to be from Reach to the Halo event, and then everything else that he does in a month, basically. There is explanations for how this stuff works.
Fire. On the target. That turret is chewing us up. Knock 'em down.
I'm just struggling to,
Cavalry's here.
Talk about it.
Follow us, Marines. We'll get you through. Smoke 'em out.
Think.
I'm on it.
So, but anyway, back to Halo Wars.
Let's get it.
It is an RTS game. Oh, that right there is one of the collectibles. They are black boxes. I have them all, so it
They're
doesn't really
trying
matter.
to keep us out of our own base.
Running them over.
They're generally found pretty easily through exploration, but if you want to play this game and
Warthog
whatnot,
can't
there are
get
guides
through, but
online.
foot soldiers can. Get this thing down and we'll come a running.
Now, there are skulls in this game, and that's not how you turn them on. So you go down here to skulls. I have everything unlocked, and they're basically cheat codes, and they do different things depending on it. You know, what they are and that different type of stuff, and they will affect the score that you get. Some will decrease it, and some will increase it. It all depends on what they do. And then, as normal, Grunt birthday party. Grunts explode into confetti, because that's always fun. And then there's Look Daddy. Grunts die, their methane tank always shoots off, and they go up like a firework. Always interesting. And non-scoring, as
Target the
normal.
power source. Orders. Waypoint received.
So, and how you get the skulls is different. As you saw, there was an optional objective that kept counting up
Grenade out. That thing is
whenever I killed a grunt.
grenades. Barriers down. Let's do this, gentlemen. Open fire.
And it's normally like kill certain amount of unit type or whatever, and that's generally what you have to do. And once you do that, you'll get a little flare, which what a flare is, I'll demonstrate.
En route, Sergeant.
You see the green circle that appeared on the minimap? That's what's called a flare. It's normally used in multiplayer because what's the point of telling yourself about something important when there's only you, so you obviously know everything.
I'll do it. I'm on it.
Oh wow, it missed the wraith. Normally the bombing run kills both wraiths, so this will be fun.
Running them over.
Yeah, well, Sergeant Forge is down. Anyway, so, as you see, Grunts killed 84 out of 100, 85, and I know exactly where it will appear. It will appear over here, and then you just send a unit to pick it up, kind of like the black boxes.
Bring the warthogs up into the fight.
Well, I don't have any of those left. They all died again. Now, Halo Wars operates with a weapon triangle. Vehicles beat infantry, infantry beats aircraft, and aircraft beats vehicles. Except for very specific counter units. Of course, like there's anti-infantry infantry units. Which break the triangle. Now look, Sergeant Forge can get back up.
Forge is back up.
Unfortunately, he loses his Warthog when he does that.
Firing. Good to go, sir. Fire in the hole.
See, 94 out of 100. So, as these guys start to die, we'll see that appear over here. And there's also, for it.
Good to go.
98. 99. See, that's the flare that I'm talking about. And once you see that, then you can go and collect the skull. I have them all, so there's no point for me to do it, but I guess if you guys want to, I could always pick them up anyway. There's also sub-objectives, and I say that because they're just achievements. Like, use the Warthog's ram ability to kill 50 grunts, and there's something left alive. Oh, it's you guys. That one I actually don't have, only because it's kind of challenging. I guess I could always try it on an easier difficulty, and it'll probably be, well, easier, but this one in of itself is always a little tricky, just because there's only, like, 103 grunts, and you have to ram 50 of them with the Warthog. Which is difficult, because, guess what, the Warthogs also have guns that shoot things.
That was the most fun I've had all week.
Mission complete.
Spirit of fire, this is Forge. Area clear. Situation normal. Orders?
Alpha base is ours again. Sergeant Forge, you may want to scout the area.
Yeah. Yeah. I didn't do too well according to the score, but I don't play for that. I play to hopefully entertain you guys and share some of my useless Halo knowledge. But mostly I hope to be entertaining.
Let's just take one last look-see.
The Hierarchs grow impatient. We can delay no longer. What if the infection defiles the relic? I care not for your little life. Open the relic.
Well, well. Open sesame.
In case you're wondering, no, that's not the same Arbiter from Halo 2 and whatnot. There's a reason why that ship looks weird, too, by the way.
What made you choose my observation deck as your lab, Professor?
I like the view. It adds perspective to my work.
Forge doesn't think it's safe for you to go down there yet. He's quite insistent.
I can be quite insistent too, Captain. I can take care of myself.
Any idea what it is we've got down there?
It's all theories right now, and I'll know a lot more once I get down there.
I'm approving the mission, but the slightest sign of danger and I'm pulling you out. Is that understood?
Understood, Captain.
Hierarch, the humans are closing and will soon be upon us.
No matter. The information you have gathered here is most appetizing. However, we must protect what we have learned here. Set the charges and destroy this place.
Destroy this holy relic, surely you jest.
The journey requires sacrifice. Set the charges. Return to us. Our patience is not infinite.
It will be done.
Serena, we need to re-establish Alpha Base before we can proceed with the mission.
Captain, the base power system is offline and a lockdown protocol is in effect. If we rebuild, the lockdown will end and the doors will open. Projection for new base location ready.
Yep. So,
All units.
Rolling. Rolling.
the reason why that ship looks a little different from pretty much every other known ship
Moving.
is the fact that it actually was a colony ship that was repurposed for the war effort as a
The
supply
base is
ship.
up and running again. We need supply pads built so I can send down materials.
Ready to roll. Rolling.
And as normal, you can't really do much except for what they want you to do. I also totally missed where they wanted me to put that, but oh well, I don't care. Tutorials.
The command center is online, but it can't house Marines. We'll need a barracks to call in the troops.
Boring and sometimes necessary. Also, things build faster during this segment.
Ready to roll.
Barracks complete.
We need to establish a larger military presence on the ground.
Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I know you only asked for 5. I don't care.
Standing by.
Oh, something to note is that the UNSC units are actually stronger than their Covenant counterparts. You get this, I think by reading their description, or maybe it was in the manual, but the reasoning behind this is the discipline that the human soldiers get, and that the Covenant kind of lack, being the religious zealots that they are. And with their hierarchy system of a grunt can be a general, but will still always be below like a jackal private. And that sort of goes against things there.
Keep constructing buildings and upgrading them where you can.
Mm-hmm.
The lockdown is lifted and the front gate is opening.
Marines reporting for duty.
I've highlighted the area where Sergeant Forge found the structure.
Supply pad complete.
So, as you see, I select stuff with A, and then it gives you a little radical menu here. And you can select stuff there, and that's how this works fairly well on a console. Now, like I said earlier, I have played, like, Command & Conquer Red Alert 3 on Xbox 360 back in the day, and it was a total piece of trash. It didn't work well at all. And that's because it was really designed with a lot of buttons and a mouse in mind, where this was actually designed with the use of a controller, so it actually works well. Now, what I did here when I locked the base is now whenever a unit gets trained, it will stay safely inside of the base instead of being out. And, nope,
Local units.
under attack. I like how the turret fires where the ship will be and still damages the ship, even though it's not firing where the ship is now. Anyway. So, like I said, the interesting thing is that it works well. And it was originally only on console. Now, normally I'd build up a force and upgrade them fully before I attack, but I'm trying to be entertaining here, so my score is probably going to be a little less, although my time might be better.
I'm picking up lots of Covenant chatter around your position. Looks like they are setting up defenses.
Alpha Base, this is Bravo 29. I can drop reinforcements at that landing pad if you can remove all hostiles in that area for me.
Ready to roll. Attacking.
No, I hit the wrong button. Go back. So, how upgrading works as far as
Here's
units
some
go.
extra reinforcements. Play nice.
Okay.
Take cover in those down pelicans. Move.
Local units.
Yeah, I know about that system.
Turret
Now, as you see, my infantry did get into cover. Some cover can hold 2 squads, some only hold 1. And it increases their defense. Obviously. Yeah, my base is under attack. So, I built a reactor here, just to give you a little rundown. Now, reactors give you a higher tech level. The higher the tech level, the more stuff you can do. Up to a max of 4. So, you'd need either 4 of these single reactors, or you could upgrade to an advanced reactor, which basically just adds another reactor right there, as you see the spot for it right there.
Local units.
Rolling.
Turret complete.
Standing by. Grenades on my mark.
And, of course, you can have more than one
I've
base.
lost contact with some warthogs on patrol. Keep an eye out for them, will you?
And, of course, that just does good stuff for you, allows you to have more things that you can deploy, more resources, which... This is also one of the few RTS games that I played that only has one main resource. I mean, I guess technically there's the tech level, but most RTS games that I've played, you normally have, you know, 2 or...
Turret improved.
well, at least 2 resources, like... You have, like, food and money, or, you know, whatever have you.
Supply pad upgraded.
You know, StarCraft, for example.
More
You have,
resources
yeah,
required.
shut up. You have, like, Vespene gas and,
Local units.
minerals. But this, you just have supplies.
Attacking.
Enemy
Oh,
engaged.
another thing that's interesting about this game is the units are kinda smart. Normal RTS games, when you have a mixed, like, squad here, the vehicles will just charge ahead at their max speed. But in this game, it was one of the first RTS games that I played where the vehicles will slow down to the slowest, you know, thing, which is normally the infantry.
Local units.
We're going in.
Now I'm just gonna
Standing by.
try and be interesting here and keep jumping around to everyone.
Local units. Enemy engagement.
Standing by. Moving. Standing by.
So hopefully I do a good job with that.
Local units.
Smoke 'em out.
Yeah, my base is always under attack. Some more of those.
Enemy
Some
engagement.
more of those. Dun, 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 dun. I think it's the piano. I don't know why, but it's just something about this soundtrack is very nice. I don't know, like I said, it's just my favorite Halo soundtrack.
Standing by. Warthog, ready. Rolling. Marines, good to go.
Enemy engagement.
So, and then, yes, upgrade to the fortress, which gives me the extra 2 little pads there, and that will be that. Some more of you,
More
some
resources
of you.
required. Local units.
Good to go. Rolling. Flamethrower ready, sir. Rolling.
Let's just have you go over there, start blowing that up. How many units are locked in here?
If we blow up these
9.
refineries, the enemy air pads will go with them.
Fortress upgrade.
Nice.
Fortress upgrade complete. Now, here's a tip for Legendary, especially in the later levels that you'll see me use a lot. I will generally just stick to one thing at a time. Like, this spot here, I could build a vehicle depot. I'm going to build a supply pad, because I need just lots
More
of things to
resources
shoot
required.
things. This is also one of the few RTS games that doesn't have, like, a point defense system.
Local units.
Like, sure, your bases have the little turrets on it,
Supply pad complete.
and then that's kind of that.
Attacking. Attacking.
Your main source of defense and offense is your units.
All units.
Go here and start shooting at the base again.
Local units.
Rolling.
And I keep hitting the wrong button.
Attacking.
See, depending on which bumper I hit, I either select local units or all units.
Local units.
Attacking.
You can also press the right trigger to select individual unit types in your current field. Now, why would you want to do this?
Enemy engagement.
To use the individual unit powers, which, as you see, the Warthogs ram stuff, and the grenades, well, the Marines have grenades.
All units.
Well, well, looky here. The Covenant built themselves a little base. Attacking.
Our primary mission here is to reach that structure. Destroying that base is a secondary objective.
I don't know why I'm doing it the hard way. I know there's the shortcut buttons.
More resources required. Local units.
No.
Moving out.
Nah, just stay back. No use having you die. Wrong. Nah. Where's the... There it is. Like, there's a button that I'm thinking of that will jump right to these guys.
Ready to roll. Rolling. Regeneration healing target. Stand by. Grenade out. They're going in. They're going in.
Now, there's no reason to shoot those little plasma things unless you haven't got the achievement. There's an achievement to
Yes, sir. Ready to roll.
destroy all those in this level. Kind of like how in the first level there was used the Warthog's ram ability to
Yes, sir.
there we go. It's down on the D-pad, which will jump to my different armies.
More resources required.
Yes, sir.
Local units.
Okay, and they're just gonna wait right here for the other guys.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
There you go. Now becomes the boring part of the RTS gameplay where I'm just waiting for my units to train. So I'm going to use this opportunity, hopefully well, to spout more useless Halo facts. Or things that I perceive to be facts. A lot of this stuff I get from the books and other sources, and I haven't read those in a while, so I don't know if my memory's up to date.
Marines reporting for duty.
Supply pad upgraded.
But, like I said, things that mess with the Halo timeline. Slipspace, the Dyson Spheres, which is the name of the phenomena of the
Marines ready, sir.
Forerunner Shield Worlds, which we go to one in this game, and I'll explain more then, or more later, whenever it strikes me.
On the ground.
And what's also weird is that the shield world doesn't have to be in its pocket dimension for this to affect. It's basically a giant slip space generator. So even if you're on the inside of the planet, things can be moving differently compared to things on the outside of the planet. Hence why the timeline gets all kinda screwy.
Flamethrower, ready to burn.
Just 1, 2, 30. I think they also appear in the order that they were queued, not necessarily the order that they get completed in. I also like how sometimes if the unit is too slow, another thing will just spawn like off in front of the base.
Healing target.
I don't like the look of the broken base. There we go.
Warthog, good to go. Marines, good to go.
Yeah, that looks like a sizable little force.
Local units.
Local units, move out.
Moving out.
And hopefully not die a horrible death. Yeah, see, look how, even though that Warthog is in front, it's moving at the pace of the infantry behind it. That's really nice, so that way they stay as a whole unit and not run off and get killed, which was always kind of annoying in other RTS games where my light tanks would run off again, you know, and just die over and over again compared to the heavy hitters that were, in theory, to help them, but oh well.
All units.
And these guys attack from that side. Pincer maneuver.
Units.
Yeah, this is not going too well, so...
Local units.
Again, buttons. I have shortcuts. I got to remember to use them. While that is failing, go ahead and train more.
Maximum population.
There you go.
Local units. Local units.
Let's hit 'em. Ready to roll. Rolling.
Yeah, that wasn't going to work too well.
Forge is down.
Yep. Just like that, move away from the action, and the music changes.
Marines ready, sir. Standing by. Flamethrower on the ground. In the
Should be the
air.
locusts, which are mini scarabs.
Flamethrower ready, sir.
Which, you know, the scarab actually kind of breaks the naming game.
Warthog rolling.
Because, see, there's actually,
Flamethrower.
well, sorta, a, theme to the names of the vehicles in these games. I say sorta because a few of them break the, mold, as it were. Like, the human vehicles are named after animals and bugs. You have the Warthog, the Scorpion, you know, Pelican dropships, etc., etc. Hornets, Wasps, whatever. And then the Covenant's vehicles are named after spirits. You have the Ghost, Spirit dropships, which are the ones that look like tuning forks. You have Phantom dropships as well, or Phantom gunships actually, because they're more of a support vehicle, but they also carry things around. And, you know, that type of stuff. But then you have the Scarab, which kind of breaks that.
Marines on the ground.
And then, you know, the Banshee, which is a flying vehicle.
Marines reporting for duty.
Anyway, I don't think I need any more.
All units.
Moving. Marines, hoorah!
So, it's just something kind of interesting.
Maximum population.
Yep.
Marines ready, sir.
Now, the vehicles will catch up to the group,
Flamethrower ready to burn.
which is
All
nice.
units.
Moving.
But once they catch up to the group, they'll go back to their slow path there.
They're going in.
units.
RPG out. Standing by.
Okay, go over there, pick them up for real this time.
Local units.
Destroy these stupid locusts that keep killing everything. Nope, they didn't make it.
Local units.
Go ahead and get in that.
Local units.
Moving out.
Forge is back up.
Yeah, he's back up.
Local units.
Quick, fire.
Yeah, I need more support.
Regeneration healing target.
Forge is down.
And he's down again.
Ready.
More resources required.
Marines, good to go. You point, I'll burn it. Moving up. Marines on the ground, sir.
Well, I seem to have won temporarily.
Sir, moving out. Attack.
All units.
Moving. Sir, moving out. Knock them down. Marines ready, sir.
Okay. So let's see, everyone's getting trained, that's good.
Flamethrower, good to go. Warthog, good to go. Standing by. Flamethrower on the ground. Standing by. Moving out. Standing by. Flamethrower.
Another Warthog's much faster.
Standing by. Standing by. Locking on.
Enemy engagement.
Warthog, ready to roll. Standing by. Moving.
Okay. Now I realize I'm not saying much again, so I have to try and think of stuff to talk about. So, the Spirit of Fire, as I said, was a repurposed colony ship. Which is why it's so unique in the UNSC fleet.
Good to go, sir. Sir. Running them down. Standing by. Standing by. Line them up.
There we go.
Yeah, we got him. We're going. Marines, good to go. Attack. Standing by. Marines on the ground, sir.
Forge is back up.
Firing.
So, the reason why this soundtrack is so different from all the others in the Halo genre, I guess, Halo universe, whatever, is because it was made by different people and for a completely different game type. Although, you could say Halo has gone back to its roots with this game. How can this be, you might ask? Wasn't the first game a first-person shooter? Yes, it was. But before Halo became the Halo that we know, it went through many different design phases. From third-person shooters to even RTS games. It was originally an RTS game. There are videos online that actually show some of this older stuff, this older like concept stuff. They actually had a little demo going.
Local units.
And look at that, with perseverance I win.
Regeneration ready. Healing target.
Try not to die.
Forge is down.
Well, he died anyway.
Flamethrower, ready to burn.
All units.
We're going in. Rocket out.
Now, what's interesting about this RTS game was that, if memory serves, the Spartans were actually just going to be like a normal infantry type and nothing too extraordinary. But then the genre changed, the lore changed, and they kind of fleshed out what they wanted to do with it more. And it eventually became the game series that we know.
On my mark.
It's also not the first first-person shooter game that Bungie developed. The game that they made previous to Halo is a game called Marathon. Marathon has a similar presence. It's a first-person shooter and, you know, it's a sci-fi space thing. But it's more akin to Doom. And I mean, like the earlier Dooms. It was a run-and-gun game, which also came out on Macintosh. Because Bungie originally worked with Apple computers. They switched over to Microsoft and Windows because of Halo. They came at them with this new idea for a new series. Wanted it to be called Halo and all that type of stuff. And Macintosh looked at it and said, nah, that's kind of been there, done yet. Nobody wants sci-fi shooters anymore. So instead of just giving up on the idea and shelving it, they went around to other companies and said, hey, does anyone want this? Microsoft looked at it and was like, yeah, we'll take it.
All units.
And,
Back up.
well,
Local units.
you know what happened there. Now, you can actually see references to Marathon all throughout the Halo games. Most notably in the Forerunner hieroglyphs and their text and all that type of stuff and their machineries. You can see it there. References to Marathon, mostly with the symbols and whatnot that appeared there. I've actually played Marathon a little bit on Windows with this whole emulator type thing, but it kept crashing and I could never really get it to work well. But if you want, you can go online, look up the game called Marathon. It was actually kind of fun, the little bit that actually got to work. And you can get it for free. It's became freeware. Bungie just kind of give it away after a while. Or at least they used to, I actually don't know. Companies can go back on that if they feel like it.
Local units.
So that's just something interesting. Like, you know, the symbol for Reclaimer in the Halo universe is actually a symbol from Marathon.
Station complete.
And with this, I will finally build the vehicle. Oh, excuse me, the vehicle depot. Oh, and as you notice, with each reactor I make, it costs more and more each time. That's kind of the trade-off between just, you know, just spamming the reactor buildings instead of getting their upgrade.
All units.
On the way. Right away. On the way.
There you go.
Vehicle depot complete.
It's also something that's kind of cool,
All units.
if you think about it, just how long Halo's been around. And its evolution from, you know, how it kind of evolved with the,
Supply pad.
you know,
complete.
first-person shooter genre, and how it sort of went back to its roots with the Halo Wars games.
Right away.
And I do mean it has evolved.
Reactor complete.
Like, Halo, the first couple Halos, didn't have any sort of move faster button. It was just, you know, there was no sprint. It was just you moved as fast as the game set running speed, and that was it, unless you hop in a vehicle.
Turret
Well,
complete.
in recent games, starting with Reach, technically,
Pad complete.
in Reach they added the armor ability, so one of them was Sprint, which, in my mind, should never have been an armor ability. It should have just been a thing.
Get to the detonator.
Yeah, I know. Which, in Halo 4, they just made a normal ability. Well, you know, just you click the stick or the bumper or whatever you have, and you just started sprinting.
Unit. Turret complete. Local units.
And that's kind of the norm now in first-person shooter games. You can run, you can jump, and you can sprint when you need to. Wow, my forces are getting killed. Let's go ahead and make some scorpions.
Local units.
On the way. On the way.
Turret complete.
I don't know if you can actually fail this if you just
I'm
stop.
sure that didn't go quite as planned. Go back to the base and train an army that's more formidable.
Supply pad upgraded.
You know, I've never actually had them detonate the detonator before. So I don't actually know if they will.
Begin healing targets.
Yeah, I know. Jumps to my bases.
Forge is down. More resources required.
Well, that didn't keep him alive too long, did it?
All units.
Moving out. Marines, hoorah!
You know, that the whole Bungie Marathon thing brings up an interesting question. With symbols from Marathon being such a part of the Halo universe now, and Bungie having left Microsoft for Activision, does Microsoft actually have the rights to the symbols from Marathon that made it in Halo? They have the rights for Halo, obviously, but do they have the rights for the Marathon symbols from Halo? I actually don't know. I would assume so, just because it's been such a part of the Halo, you know, universe that it kind of has to be, but that doesn't necessarily make it true, though. All right, there are you guys over there.
Standing by. Marines ready, sir.
The other part of that recon force. I meant to free them, honest.
Local units.
Warthog fired up. Standing by.
Enemy engagement.
Standing by. Yes, sir. Moving.
Local units.
I think I'll look that up after this stream. See if I can find any information on it. Let you guys know next time. Whether that will be in Halo Wars or Halo 3 ODST, which was my actual next planned stream. But then I decided, you know what? I like these games. I want to eventually play them. I'll come and see what people think of it and see if I do any form of good job at making a RTS game interesting enough for streams and Let's Plays, which I guess also is preference-based. So I don't know. But hopefully this gives us, or gives me, I should say, and some level of an idea of what people like. Because I do want to be entertaining. And I do want to share what I love, which is the Halo games, other sci-fi stuff, and maybe just some other games in general. Maybe I'll play an RPG game. Although I don't know how I would do in an open world game, which those are fun, don't get me wrong, but at the same time, you know, there's just so much to do, and you gotta say, you know, like, focused on an objective to just be interesting and entertaining. I assume. I don't actually know if that actually holds true. It's just what I've kind of assumed. So maybe I'll do some other tests with other random games.
Good work. Prepare for new orders.
Let's see what you guys think.
Alpha Base, this is Bravo 29, heavy inbound. I've got the professor aboard.
Because I want to be entertaining, but I also want to have fun with this. So, you know, I'm only going to try and do things that entertain both of us. Because, obviously, if I'm not having fun with it, then you guys won't either. If you guys have any suggestions on what games you want to see me play, let me know, and I'll see what I can do. I mean, I have a lot of games, so odds are, if you name one, I have it. But keep in mind, I stream through my Xbox, so it has to be a console-based, at least until I get a better computer, which who knows when that will be. I guess I could also hook up my PlayStation 4, see if I can stream through that. I assume I can. But yeah, I've been going for close to an hour. I played a couple levels. hopefully gives you guys a good idea on what to expect from this series if it turns into a series. So with that, I hope you guys had fun, because I do love this game and I had fun, but I want to also make sure you guys have fun. So with that, this has been Blue Team Member playing the first couple levels of Halo Wars 1 on Legendary. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you next time, whenever that is.